Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you also for coming.
We appreciate.
I also appreciate.
How are you doing? You look good.
By the grace of God, I'm fine.
What is that special thing that keeps you going?
You know, on the 3rd of June,
yes,
I was 84 years, about a week ago.
Yeah.
And now, when you have the fear of God in you, the Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Yeah. So, I'm a Christian. And through football, I became a pastor. So it is the fear of God that is in me, because there are a lot of things I was doing when I was playing football that I have stopped. And it is not because of the Christian that I am in that I have stopped. That is why I am still alive and strong at the age of 84.
What were the things you were doing
in those days?
Yes.
You know, we were not professionals, we were amateurs. So as for women there, I had 20 at that time. I will tell you the truth. Do you know how many?
How many?
Anyway,
how many?
It's not part of your program.
But we're having a conversation.
Yeah, but I have 12 children.
12?
Yeah.
Wow. From how many women?
Why do you want to date me? Oh, in those days, in the 60s and 70s. Say I've seen the world.
Was it your talent that got you the women, or how did that happen?
Oh, it was the talent. If I don't even go out, they will come.
Wow.
Yeah, in those days. We were not professionals, so we were not being paid. We were working as workers.
Yeah.
Kotoko, the whole team, we were working with the Farmers Council.
Oh, okay.
Real Republicans. Why they were formed was in a good platform, but later they changed. Because Indian form Republicans, yeah, that we have to get the national team standing by any time we have. Because in those days, we were playing foreign teams here. Fortuna Disadov came here.
Real Madrid?
In 1962, and yeah, Real Madrid in 1962, when we drew with that, do you know when they came? Before they came, when Indian said, boys, I know we can beat Real Madrid, but I am just pleading with you that if you are able to stand that they don't score 10 goals against you, the country will make a party for you. And that put us in fears. The way Indian spoke that if we don't take that, they will beat us more than 10 years. The training that we did, since I was born, I've never seen it before. And lo and behold, we drew 3-3 in 1962 at the Accra Sports Stadium. Recently, some friends from Spain came here, Leganes Football Club. Yeah. And I took them around. So when we got to the stadium, I told them, you are fortunate to be here today. They said, why? I said, well, this is the stadium whereby the Black Stars of Ghana you see today drew 3-3 with Real Madrid. The whites were 3. Then they look at each other and ask, which Real Madrid? Then I also asked them, how many Real Madrid do we have? How many Real Madrid do we have in the world? I said only one. So then I told them, if I tell you, Gento was here, Puskas was here, Alfredo Di Stéfano, you have built up a stadium and named after him, was here. I played against him. Then they said, so you want to tell us that we are talking to a legend? I mean, I didn't say it, you are saying it. Could you believe they didn't believe? When they got back to Spain, they went to the archives of Real Madrid to see that what I said. I even left some. So they wrote a letter to the lawyer who asked me to accompany them. That issue just begged me. But they didn't know they were talking to a real legend in Ghana. I was so proud. I should have been in Spain this year to watch one of the El Clásicos, but it has been postponed to next year.
Hopefully you will do it. How will you describe your early beginnings?
According to my mother, in fact, my mother got to know that I would be a footballer in the future. Because when I was going to school from the infancy, yeah, I saw these tennis balls, yeah, the cans that were in. Then I asked my mother, why this? He said, Kofi, the way you have given us troubles about this. You know, Kofodia, in front of our house, there was a street.
Oh, okay.
So there is a gutter at the end of one end and the other of one end. And it was the tennis ball we were using, which we called the gutter to gutter.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And I used to supply. And could you believe the gutter to gutter? I went to Bennett University for a coaching course in 1969. When I got to the university, they had then started playing this gutter to gutter. They were learning it. So as a student, I started teaching them.
Oh, I see.
In Bennett University in Germany. So my mother contributed my football career. Later, I asked her, in our family, who is a footballer? Not knowing my father was a footballer.
Oh, really?
Old Tafo, Roberts Park, where Subribi were using.
Yeah.
It was my father's company, that the group, Roberts, who put up above the stadium.
Oh, okay.
And every player planted a coconut tree. And as we are talking now, where my father planted his, though it's not as the older ones,
yeah,
it's still there. And that is where I attended my elementary school, where I completed, I was informed for when I left Old Tafo. Then I came back to my mother when my father left for Tema in 1957. So 58. But my mother just encouraged me to be a footballer. Whereby when I went to my father in search for a job, I was a mate.
Oh, really?
My father was having a truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which belongs to Mr. B.K. Edusei, a patron of Kotoko. So I'm just giving you a short story about. So there was a Krobo woman who was married to my father, and the way she was treating my father when I was in Agonos.
Yeah.
So Agonos is just like a nursery club for Accra House of Books.
Okay.
And in those days, first and second, we were not having professionals. First and second divisions played national league. So Agonos, we were in the second division. Kotoko House and Olympic, they were in the first division. There was no Premier League started in 1982.
Yeah.
When Kosina Ntechi and Co came. So we were amateurs throughout. And in those days, we were working with companies. As for the football there, it was free. Only some, I remember our winning bonus, 2 cedis. And if we beat a team and on Monday you get to town, the Syrian company groups, those who like Kotoko. So when we were playing, we thought we were playing for the Syrians because Kotoko winning bonus was 2 cedis and the Syrian will give you 10 cedis. So which one will you prefer?
I would prefer the 10 cedis.
The 10 cedis. So we thought we were playing for, not knowing they were bettings. They were doing betting. So for me like this, every week, Monday, I put on my dress, then I go to town. Osei, come, yesterday you did. So I was playing for these people, and that is why we were winning every match. Because if we win, the way they pamper us, give us money. The club is there was no money at that time.
How did you get to the Argonauts?
58, I completed my elementary school. And something happened in 58, which I still remember. In 1958, when I was about to complete my school, there was a company in Ghana called Aspro.
Aspro?
Yeah, it was a pharmaceutical company.
Oh, okay.
And they hosted the FA Cup.
Okay.
And Kotoko and Haas got to the finals. And my uncle, who because of how I play, he likes it too much, came to my mother. My mother should tell me to get prepared because that coming Sunday there was cup final, Aspro Cup final at the Accra Sports Stadium between Kotoko and Haas. He told me on Friday. So Saturday evening by 6, I have taken my bath, I have dressed. sitting on a chair waiting for my uncle for the following morning. So in the evening, my uncle came. I was dressed. I said, "Where are you going?" I said, "You said tomorrow we are going to Accra, and you bath on Saturday." I said, "Hey, maybe you leave me, so I'm ready." So on Sunday morning, he came. I boarded a car. We went to Accra Sports Stadium. My first time. I was even have the privilege of sitting on the pitch. Because the stadium was full, and the tracks, that is where our chairs were put on. And Kotoko came all red. Asofo came with this rainbow.
Yeah.
And I was sitting by my uncle. I asked the names of the players. And there was one man, Mr. Kofi Badu.
Yes.
Yeah, who was the editor of Graphic at that time.
He's not the chief of staff for Manchia.
And when he writes after a match, and you buy Graphic on Monday, when even you didn't go to the stadium, when you read the article, it is as if you were at the stadium.
You were talking about how you were a mate to your father, and your father's wife was maltreating him and all that. What I want to understand is, how did that shape your football?
I'm happy you've gone back to ask this question. You know, though I was a young boy, but the way the woman was treating my father, I didn't like it. She sells this kukunte, and the remaining ones from where she went to sell it, then that is what she used to bring to my father. He said, what is happening? So when from Agonos we couldn't qualify for the first division, then Accra House of Folks came to see my father.
Oh, okay.
Then Olympics also came. So my father asked me to choose one I like. But you know this, the players that the two teams were having, I thought I couldn't stand, so I was worried. Then I decided to choose Accra House of Folks. So Mr. Moody helped me that I should choose us. And I came to Accra House of Folks. Brother, Accra Technical Park, now their offices over there. At the training grounds, brother, in those days, the players that they have were very huge and strong, and I was just like a tiny fly. But if you allow me to get hold of the ball, you make sure, so they won't come. I say, yes, now I've established. But my first match for Accra House of Folks at the Accra Sports Stadium, my first league match, I have never gone to camping before a match before. So on Saturday, I was at the house camp at Kolegono, house. In the evening, there's Ovaltine, bread and whatnot, special butter, a village boy. By the way, I enjoyed, I said, yes, I'm in a good place. Sunday morning, breakfast came, but we were informed that by 10 to 11, fufu will come. And I said, fufu, okay. So I didn't join the breakfast. I waited for the fufu from 10 to 11. I took 2 balls, meat and soup. I was satisfied, forgetting that there
You're going to play football. Did that affect you?
I am pounding, then you are chopping. By 2, then they knocked my door. We have started dressing up.
Yeah.
And I was sleeping. And I couldn't tell anybody that, I have overate. So I dressed up. We got to the stadium. Will you believe I was able to count how many balls I touched the whole 90 minutes. But the only thing that helped me that day was the Ghana language. I didn't understand.
So the fans abused you?
Yeah. When I decided to learn the Ghana, then I got to know that I was
you were abused.
I was abused. But I took a decision. Immediately after the match, I left for Koforidua without telling anybody. So when I got to Koforidua, my mother asked me, say, "Ma, I couldn't. So I'm coming to hide small. If anybody comes from Accra, don't tell him I am here." They searched for 10 men everywhere. Unfortunately, Saturday morning when I woke up from bed, I was coming to just peace. When I opened the door, then I saw a taxi in front of our house at Koforidua. Then I heard Amadu say, "Hey, Yahoo!" Ooh. The people are spoiled the I said, "What did you ever?" Oh, I said, "Why?" And I said, so you don't love me. What I did last Sunday, I couldn't play. So why should you worry me? I have come here to start preparing again. In 2 weeks' time, I will come. And Amadu said something. He said, I said, "How can we judge you with only one match? Let's go." It touched my heart, then I joined them. Even my mother was complaining from the market. I heard her shouting, "Unko!" Then when my mother said, "What are you doing? You want me to go and disgrace myself?" And when you disgrace yourself, let them put it on. Hey. And I said, "My mother, you want me to go and disgrace yourself? You won't disgrace yourself next time." So I had to accompany them to Accra. Do you know my next match was against Real Republicans? I couldn't stand the Olympics. How can I stand Real Republicans? Then I told them that I am too young to be rushing to such a... what you do at the training, go and do the same thing there. Okay. The tea came on Saturday again. I took part. Then the Sunday, the fufu came again.
I will eat.
No. I drank some soup plus 2 meat. You know, and you know this, when you are going to play, you have to weigh whether you have got your real weight. Yeah, I weighed and I had my normal weight against Republicans. Somebody told Ohinijan that there is a small boy in House of Oaks who is very good. Ohinijan told them, "Well, I've seen him. He's just like a granite that has been fried. When you grow, you put it down, it will germinate."
Okay. So it means that they should come and bully you.
And I will never forget what I did to the national players, Babayara and Co. Immediately after the match, when the last whistle was blown, I saw Coach C.K. Jampi, the national coach, calling me that I should see him and Ohinijan. When I went there, so I said, "The next blaster camp, join them." See, my second match with Accra House of Oaks. So I started on a good note, and I became a friend to Ohinijan. Ohinijan, when he says you are good, I remember when the national team, when we returned from the Olympic Games in Japan, 8 retired.
That was the New Horizon team?
No, the Black Stars.
Oh, okay.
Retired from the national assignment. So the New Horizon team, my team, replaced them.
So it was the New Horizon that went to the Olympics, right?
No. But no, some of the... Ohinijan was clever. He and CK. Myself, Frank Odwe, Kwame Nti, and John Satuku Few. We were the foundation members of the New Horizon.
Oh, okay.
So these 4 were drafted into the national team after the Olympic Games. We were sent to the Olympic Games to go and see and come and play for Ghana. We were not part of the league, but I was lucky. When we got there, Adakwa fell sick. There was a severe fever. So I was in my room when CK came that Ohinijan is calling me. Then we went to see him. He said, "Can't you help us?" Then I put a question to them, "Why did you bring me?" They said, No, we didn't bring you to come and play, just to watch, so that when we get back, you improve. I said, oh, try me. Our match against Argentina, it was 3-3. Immediately after the match, Ohinijan and CK called me and said, Osei, with your size there, you are deceiving us. But how you played, you are even better than most of the national team players. And Adakwa was the number 7 when he had a fever. Could you believe immediately after the match, Ohinijan told Adakwa, Osei has taken your position.
the young man who was here to observe has taken over your position.
And that is the end of Adakwa at the number 7 position for the Black Stars. And that is how I had a position. And in 1962, we were there when Ohinijan called the national player. I was the youngest. I washed in Fums and Aqua's boots and dress. But I was better than most of them. And it helped me because they taught me lessons. The way I was, my height, my everything. So I learned a lot from them. And
how many seasons did you do at Hearts of Oak? How many seasons did you play for Hearts of Oak? How many years?
1 year. 1 complete season, whereby we won the league.
And at what point did you get to Kotoko?
The woman you were asking about her, when we won the league, Hearts of Oaks at the Accra, Kolegono, we were enjoying when my father came, that he wanted to divorce the woman. I said, which woman? I said, oh, my wife. I said, we want to divorce. So what do I do?
Now a big party.
Not knowing, my father was a driver to Mr. B.K. Eduse, who was a life patron to Asante Kotoko.
Oh, okay.
And when my father was discussing this matter, some of the workers heard it. So they told Mr. B.K. Eduse, your driver, his son is Osei Kofi. Why don't you convince him to let Osei go to Kotoko so that you give me the 30 pounds that the court need? So Mr. B.K. called my father. I said, your son is Osei Kofi. Let him go to Kotoko so that I give you the 30 pounds. So I was at the camp when my father came, and I was so happy. We were amateurs. So that very night, I left for Kumasi without telling us. We were amateurs. No agreement. No.
You didn't need to sign any contract or any negotiation.
No.
So your move to Kotoko was based on the fact that your father needed money to settle court issues.
That is all. I didn't get half a peso because we were amateurs in those days. But when in fact, my real team in this country was Great Ashantis, which was formed by CK Yampi. CK was a Kotoko player.
Yeah.
And in one of the Easter holidays, there was a team called Wancheni. They picked some players from Kotoko.
Yes.
And they went to Kwau to play that Wancheni.
Yes.
And Kotoko officials got to know about it. So CK was sacked. And after his sack, he formed Great Ashantis. So I had a jolly time when I went to Kotoko. Hey, and that was what I was just telling. What I suffered in the class of during training grounds, it was worse in Kotoko. Kokutewia Kofieni, Dogomoro, Gagomoro, Bankusi, Opuku Mensa. I was still the smallish. Kotoko too, there was a try match between Osim and Pomfi versus Kotoko. And Mfum asked Adakwa to be at the number 8 position so that I think I take over from the number 7 in Kotoko. That was my last try match. I scored 4 goals from the wing. So Adakwa also was removed from the number 7 position.
You kept taking over people's position. You can't take over people's positions.
And I became the number 1 in Kotoko till I left.
There are some interesting stories about your days in Kotoko. But yes, let me have an idea about your first season in Kotoko. How was it like? How would you describe your first season in Kotoko?
You know, Kotoko saw me in Accra when Kotoko versus Hearts of Oaks. They had a goalkeeper called Kwabafo. He's an elderly person. And I scored a goal against him. And he was furious because of my size. The way the people were laughing at him, you know. So I was jubilating when I heard the spectators, hey, when I tell my baby, Jack, the blow that this man...
Ah, he came to fight you?
Yeah, because I've scored him. Is that how we have to play football in Ghana? So I was being protected by the police. So it was after the match that things were settled. So when I came back, when I came to Kotoko, I met you. I said, why? I said, I'm proud. I
heard stories that in your early days at Kotoko, you struggled to play because you left House of Oak and the place you was it Jew or whatever.
But in those days, how I couldn't play for 8 months, I personally didn't know. But the Kotoko officials did something to help me. There was a woman who was a fetish priestess. They took me to her. The name of the priestess husband was Mfum. So he was a good friend to Mfum of Kotoko.
Oh, okay.
The man stays at Abu Abuja in the Ashanti region. We went there. And when the woman saw me, he said, Then he told our team manager that in a proverbial way that this man plays a certain band. He played a leading trumpet, and he slept the band, and the band leader, the owner of the band, has just crippled him. Then our team manager named the person, and the fetish priest said, the name that you have mentioned, Osei will play again.
And indeed you played again?
I played again. I was there for about 6 weeks. Hey, I was, brother, there's something in this world, especially in football. How even I became a Christian, it was through football.
So what happened?
After 8 months. No, there was a lot of concoctions and medicines I have to take. Some I was bind with those medicines. There was a medicine which they use in binding my whole waist. If you use cutlass on me, it won't cut. No, so
that you could play football?
So that I will recover to play football. Living House of Oaks. So Charles Taylor, when his came, I went to the father and told him, let him stay for 8 months, he will play again. And at exactly 8 months, he started playing. Charles Taylor.
No, so does this suggest that the stories we often hear about juju in football are real?
So far as there is the existence of Satan, as we Christians know, Christ came to redeem us. But he came, Satan, to destroy us. How can a player train the whole week and tell the spectators that I'm going to disgrace myself at the stadium? A goalkeeper, a ball will be coming and it will just slip and pass through the legs and go and score. Brother? In fact, there is something. There is something. And
those days there was juju.
Throughout my playing career, I saw something. The woman who helped me to play football again. When we are going to the stadium, you give us an egg. And the team we are going to play with, if you allow us, but we won't show it to you. When we come to the stadium, then we make a round and just put the egg. When you allow us to put the egg down. In fact, throughout my stay in Kotoko, nobody beat us when the egg gets to the ground. And there was one day, Kotoko cornerstones. It has been rain small, so the park was slippery. And I was standing with Abukari. And I like Abukari and I love him. I saw somebody come in, and the way he was running towards us, I told Abu that it is because of us. Others were fighting, and he wanted to come and disturb us. Then Abukari said, Osei, stand at my back. Then he removed some belt.
As an amulet or something?
Amulet. And put it in his hand. When the guy came, Abukari just raised it, and the man, as if somebody has booted him, fell down, boom! Abu couldn't speak the Tree language, so he said, and Tokwa was started cry, Akwano Afrika. Yeah, Bushi say, as you and Tokano was started, Aquan was free talk. It means we haven't started the fight.
The fight, but he's already on the floor.
He's already on the floor. Then I understood something. That during our days, when we had to play House of Skotoko, we contribute money for Abu to travel to Tamale. When you go to Tamale and come back, we know he has one goal against us. And I will also score. So during our time, the way we were troubling House of Oaks.
I heard you swallowed calories and so.
Hey, who told you? And unfortunately, that brought the end of Robert Mensah.